Hello everyone. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Yes, it's going up. So anyway, silver, $60. Ooh, on its way. On its way to where though? In my book, between 80 and 100. Now, if you went back to the Bunker Hunt silver top back in whenever that was, late 70s, wasn't it? When it went to $40, you could say that would be $200 silver. And you could say, well, 5 times inflation, that was the peak then, it will go back to the peak back then too. And that scaled for inflation would be $200. However, that was a market corner. This is not a market corner. Well, not by one person anyway. And I don't think it's a market corner at all. It's just all part of the commodity boom that we're in, and it really is a commodity supercycle. Now, if you want to think about the commodity supercycle, what is it driven by? Well, it's driven by a set of forces. One of them is AI. AI is going to consume so many basic metal commodities that they're all going to reprice, and they're all going to be repriced. As long as they're building server centers out like they're going to be building them out, there'll be a shortage of raw materials. To build a mine, you're in a hurry, you've got a great mine, 5 years. To build a mine, it's a great mine, but it's not necessarily going to be like that. There's not necessarily going to be a massive rush from all parties to get it done. 10 years. You've got a great mine, fantastic resource. You're building it at a good pace. To get it fully developed, to get it really running hot, if it's a huge resource, maybe even 20 years. So even if you take that 5-year number, there's simply not enough production to bring on to keep up with the demand. So that's the thesis anyway. So AI is a big driver. Now the second thing is good old President Trump. He's reindustrializing America. Well, that's really going to eat raw materials, because reindustrialization means building factories, building plants, taking manufacturing from another part of the world and onshoring it, which means that plant over there, well, it's not going to be running flat out supplying you. It's going to be doing whatever it's doing, but America's going to be running flat out to build plants and use those sort of basic materials to build the onshoring of a whole industrial ecosystem. Well, that's going to consume massive amounts of raw materials too. So those two things alone are enough to make this commodity supercycle. And the third thing is, if this ever-increasing cycle of stress is going to continue, there's going to be a wave of investment in localized reindustrialization and everything that goes with it. Originally, a lot of these raw materials are going to be consumed by electrification. And that electrification was for vehicles and various other things, but generally speaking, the old economy. Well, with AI, that multiplies that demand. And that electrification was enough to basically run the world out of copper, for example. Now, we've got AI consuming everything and the potential for significant economic growth. And that significant economic growth will basically just outstrip the world's ability to bring new supplies online. So there's going to be a big lag, which means there's going to be a repricing, which means that prices are going to go up a lot. The repricing is maybe going to make prices of these things unrecognizable. That is all inflationary, because you need capital for all those sort of things, and that capital can really only be provided by printing money. And that's another driver of commodities, and that is one of the reasons why the precious metals are going up so much. Here are some of the factors for precious metals. Precious metals are going up because global strife drives the price of gold, and that price of gold pulls the price of silver, and then silver becomes a juggernaut because that's the retail precious metal. And that's what we're seeing right now. And then there's the effect of that printing of money for reindustrialization, which is an inflationary economic boom. And that drives the prices not only from the demand side, but also from the supply of money side. So there's two pressures on the commodities. There's more money pressure and there's economic boom pressure. So that drives that too. So precious metals goes first because of global conflict and reindustrialization. and the printing of money that is to come. And then after that, you have your basic materials like copper, I mean, even lead, tin, nickel, zinc, the whole bag of commodities. And then in due course, it will be energy. And this is not going to take too long, but I think the slowest one is going to be energy, because that's the one which has the most crazy variables in it. But it will go. Oil will go in the end. But right now, if you just take that idea, that thesis, silver is running today. Where's it going to go? If you're super bull, you'll say $200. If you're very bullish, like I am, you say $100. If you're a little bit, a little bit fry, you'd say $80. And here's a chart which demonstrates that idea. And as you can see, if we're in a bubble, it's going to go straight to 100. Very, 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 very quickly. If we're just in a repricing of a much longer trend, it's going to go to 80. 80 or 100 is where we look like we're going right now. Now, if we don't follow these trajectories and we get a repricing, all is not lost. It doesn't mean it's going to be coming back down. It just means we will get in a repricing range where there will be either a trigger for the price of silver to rise towards 80 or wherever it's going, or fall. And you'll be able to sit there and watch that equilibrium level develop. And then if you're a bull, hopefully not have to pray that it's going to break up out of that and head towards the next repricing level. Now, I think there's a good chance that we're in a vertical, but I'll put my money on a slow ascent towards 80. But market doesn't listen to me. So we will see over the coming days whether we're heading straight to 100 or whether we're going to go for an 80 repricing target. That's my read of the silver market right now. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and like because it helps the channel, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now.